Hello everyone, AmyR here with Prairie Paper and Ink, and I had shown a sneak peek of these images on my social media and everyone was going a little bit bonkers. Don't blame them, it's llamas, they're cute. So I have the Neat and Tangled Fala Llama stamp set and cording dies that I purchased not too long ago. And the other day I was at the mall and there, everywhere has their like ugly Christmas sweaters out. Like those have taken off like crazy, like department stores with these insanely expensive ugly Christmas sweaters. And I saw this awesome bright pink one with a llama on it. I loved it. I wasn't going to pay the money for it because it was a lot, but I took a picture of it because I was like, I need to make a card based on this. And that's what inspired this. So I have stamped my llama images. I was originally only going to make one card, but then as I started thinking about it, I couldn't decide what color combo to do the llamas in. So I was like, I'm going to make 3. That's just what I'm going to do. So I stamped the images 3 times. This is a piece of Neenah Solar White 80-pound Classic Crest cardstock. And I stamped all my images with Hero Arts Intense Black ink, which is an Copic Marker / alcohol marker friendly ink. And then I'm coloring all my llamas in with Copic. So I'm doing 3 different color combos. I'm doing one in more of a white with kind of a, brownish tint to it. The second one, he's gray. And then the last one's going to be black. And I've got the colors listed on the screen here that I used. And doing my typical lazy method of Copic coloring, I work darkest to lightest because I don't have the time. I just don't have the time and I'm kind of lazy when it comes to coloring with these. And it just works for me. So I started off mostly with their faces and then I would go on and color their little bodies. With the gray one and the kind of off-white one, I kept them very pale. And then the black one, of course, I wanted to go full, like, really dark. And you do lose a fair bit of the definition, but that's when I'll go back with my white gel pen and add just a little bit to him. But I just went in and added the marker to the darkest areas and then we just kind of keep blending out as I went lighter and lighter. Normally with Copic markers, you work lightest to darkest and then you kind of work your way back. It does give you a lot more control if you do it that way. But like I said, I don't know, the last couple of years, I really like doing it backwards. So after I had done all of their bodies, I'm going to color in their accessories. And I wish I could share a picture of the sweater, but I'm sure I'd get like, dinged for copyright violation or something, but it was a bright, like almost neon pink fuchsia sweater with this llama on it, and it was just so bright and colorful. So of course I had to use some bright pinks. So I used my RV 09, 06, and 04. And I had stamped the gifts and the scarves on here as well and messed up on the one. So I scratched it out with a pen to remind myself not to keep coloring it, re-stamped it, messed it up, stamped it another time. So I have 3 gifts, 3 scarves, And with these specific, the RV 06 and 04, when they are first applied and the ink is still wet, they look almost neon. They dry a little bit softer than that, but it always throws me off sometimes because I love neon, but more often than not, that doesn't go with my card. But these, of all the Copic markers, these ones do change a fair bit as they dry. So I went on, after adding all of the pink, I'm doing an aqua teal color combo here. So making sure that each main, like the scarf and the little like blanket on each llama is a different color just to mix everything up a little bit. And then after I did the aqua teal color, I'm doing a really bright blue color and just going along and doing everything at the same time as well. Like every area where I wanted to add the darkest blue, that's where I added it. Then I went on with my medium, my lightest, and that saved me a bunch of time coloring all of this. And then once I was done all of my Copic coloring, this is where I'm going in with my white gel pen and adding just little bits of highlight. I ended up adding a fringe, which you can mostly only see on this black llama, but I added a fringe around that little blanket just because I could, because I thought it was cute. And then just went along, added polka dots to all the scarves and highlights and whatnot to all of these images. Once I'm done with that, I am going to use the coordinating dies to die cut all of these out. So I can just go through and tape each die into place with a little piece of Post-it tape so that it doesn't move when I run it through my Big Shot machine. So I'll just die cut 3 of these images at once. And the scarf die in this set, it only cuts around the scarf and the other end is open-ended. And I'll show you how I attach that in a minute here. So I've got all my little images stamped, colored die cut. I stopped to take a picture to share on social media. And then I'm going to finish my cards now. So I took some black cardstock and I'm using my anti-static powder tool and I'm stamping the sentiments with some Versamark ink. And I wanted it to spell out fala la 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 llama because that was playing in my head over and over and over again while I was making this. So it's like it had to have the right amount of laws to make it make sense in my opinion. So I stamped, and thankfully this set has, like, you could just not ink up the FA part of the fala la la la, but I like that it actually includes the separate just LA stamp, so you can stamp that la as many times as you want. So that's what I did. So I stamped them with that Versamark ink and then heat embossed it with white embossing powder. And I did that 3 times altogether. So I have it for all my cards. And then I pulled out the Sizzix Winter Snowflakes 3D folder that I just showed in my mega haul video. I have my multi-purpose platform on my Big Shot open to tab 1. Then the folder with my cardstock in it and 1 cutting plate. Because this folder is so thick, that's all you need. And if you don't want as deep of an impression, you can open up the tabs completely so there's no tabs. But I like that with the tab 1 because it gives it that deeper impression and it creates this gorgeous, gorgeous embossed impression. I love this folder. Love it. So I really struggled at first about what I was going to do for my layout and whatnot with all these images because I didn't want to cover up any of these snowflakes. Oh, back to the scarf. So what I did was line it up, cut a couple notches around the outline on the side of the scarf there, and then just trim that area off with scissors. And then I just add some adhesive to this end here that's kind of sticking out of the little scarf and adhere it there, and it ends up making it look seamless. So really easy, and then that way all their little scarves look like it's part of the original image, so you can choose whether or not you want to add that or not. So I ended up deciding to pop everything on with foam tape. I had trimmed down all my sentiments and popped those onto the card fronts with foam tape, popped all the llamas on with foam tape, added the little gifts. And then my card bases are heavyweight white cardstock cut to 4 1/4 by 11 inches. And I'm scoring all of them at 5 1/2 with my Teflon bone folder. So these will be top folding A2 size cards. And all of those snowflake embossed card fronts are A2 sized because same thing. I wanted to show that embossing folder in all of its glory. So I didn't want to cut it down at all. So for all of the insides, I lined up my card bases in my mini Misty here. And I have the Neat and Tangled Wishing You Love stamp set that I, again, showed in my most recent haul. I'm getting there. I am getting to the insane amount of products that I have accumulated over the last little while. Slowly but surely, one day at a time. So I'm inking up the sentiments with dye inks that coordinate with the cardstock. All the cardstock I use, the color cardstock and whatnot, is from MFT. So I pulled up my little ink cubes in the same colors. And I was inking up the sentiments with those colors and then stamping them onto the insides of the cards. And because the sentiment is so large and it's so thick, like the actual line image of it, that's why I'm using my Misty, because I had a feeling I would have to double stamp, or if not triple stamp, this multiple times on the insides of my cards, just so I got a good solid image. And FYI, MFT dye inks, they do smooth out a bit more as they dry. So they might look a little mottled sometimes when you first stamp it. It's like, give it a little bit and let it fully dry into the cardstock. It looks totally different. So I just went along and stamped the coordinating colors of each card front onto the inside with that same sentiment. And I love this sentiment. It's huge. You could use this as a focal point on a card front, do a really fun background and then heat emboss this over top of it, that sort of thing. But I wanted it on the inside because I love the sentiment. I thought that was really cute with the llama and its scarf, wishing you all of the joy, warmth, and love of the season. It just seemed fitting. So after I had all the inside stamped, I'm going to add adhesive to the card fronts. So I'm adding the adhesive to the card base with my Xyron tape runner. It's easier to add it to the base rather than trying to apply adhesive to the backs of all these card fronts because they're all textured from that embossing folder. A liquid adhesive would alleviate that, but I'm like becoming more and more obsessed with my Xyron, my tape runner, and my mega runner. I am really impressed with this adhesive. I really like using it. So I just applied adhesive all around the perimeter of my card bases, ran some down diagonally, and then pressed all my card fronts onto their coordinating bases, making sure that I was adhering the right color to the base that had the stamping on the inside. I did take care of that more often than not. The joys of video editing, the amount of times I mess things up and you guys don't know. This time I did manage to get it right though. So after I was done all of my, stamping and assembling, I wanted to add some embellishments. So I'm using these Darice crystal sequins. Again, just got them. Christina Warner made me do it. She uses these all the time. Honestly, I'm still on the fence about them though. I love how they look on her cards. I don't know what it is. They just look perfect and gorgeous on her cards. There's just something about it. And then when I use them, it's like, oh, I still prefer my Pretty Pink Posh and my Studio Katia sequins way more than these. But I don't know. Maybe I was just hoping I would be as, creative as Christina or something with these, using the same stuff. I don't know what was going through my head, but they're pretty. They're just, I'm kind of with them, but they're still fun. And for the price point, you can't really go wrong with them. So I also added some Studio Katia onyx crystals to this, just to kind of tie in the black of the sentiment and everything. And plus I'm obsessed with these. I want to add them to everything because they're just so pretty. So I stuck everything into place with my multimedia matte adhesive and a jewel picker. And that finished off all my cards. So everything I mentioned and showed and whatnot in the video, I will have linked below in my blog post as well as in the description box below the video. So you can check that out if you're interested. Thank you all so much for watching and subscribing and thumbs upping and commenting on my videos. I really appreciate it. And I will see you all very soon in the next one. Bye!